Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we do have some news today. So in a recently deleted job opening for Creative Assembly's website, there was mention of a lead graphics programmer for pretty much a new engine. It was suggested very heavily and it's something for future unannounced Total War titles. This was picked up by Video Games SI. It's a website that does do like the usual news posting, you know, all these usual things. It's really interesting to note, obviously, because they've got stuff opened for senior backend programmers, all that different type of stuff, for an exciting unannounced Total War with a brand new IP. So this is something which is rather interesting, as obviously a lot of people were expecting Empire 2 next, and I still think that Empire 2 is next, but it's not a brand new IP. This wouldn't even be Medieval 3 or Three Kingdoms 2, I very much doubt that that's even happening. This would be something completely new. And a new IP is something that many of us have been speculating for a while. Total War Warhammer has done a lot of really big things, and a lot of people are thinking that, well, maybe 40K is next. This is a shared sentiment within the community, and it's something that this guy from Video Games SI has also come into speculating on. Though I will say one thing, he jumps into the thing of, oh, maybe it's Age of Sigmar, or maybe it's 40K. And I know a lot of you guys jump into the thing that it could be Age of Sigmar next, but keep this in mind, because a lot of you guys don't seem to maybe be aware of this. The Age of Sigmar license, the exclusivity license, is held firmly now by Frontier Developments. These are the people that do, you know, Planet Zoo, obviously Realms of Ruin, which is the Age of Sigmar game that's coming out very, very soon. Yes, they have 100% exclusivity that can be shared throughout their studios alone and not through others. This is actually quite interesting. And yes, I don't want to talk about too much about Age of Sigmar here, but it's probably going to be the best thing that's ever going to happen to that setting, that's for sure. Frontier are a phenomenal company. Now, I know already I've got a few comments down there going, it's not going to work, 40K is not going to work in the Total War format. Listen, whether you like it or not, it's going to happen, and I can tell you a few reasons why. First up, this deal between Games Workshop and Creative Assembly have been way too lucrative. A lot of money has been made for both, especially Games Workshop seeing how well this has done it for a dead setting. Imagine what they could do for a active setting and their most popular one. Creative Assembly are likely seeing it too, and we know, for example, that they've flirted with the idea of doing sci-fi games before. A former member of Creative Assembly, Darren, which I believe now does Let's Play videos on YouTube, he even said that once, way back in the day, they flirted with the idea of a Star Wars Total War, right? Which would have actually been kind of cool, depending on the setting, of course, but yeah, they flirted with the idea of doing sci-fi. They've done fantasy, they know that they can do fantasy very well. Where's the next big ticket? What's going to make them the most money? Star Wars would, but 40K would make a lot more cash. Why? Because 40K fans will buy absolutely anything. We'll talk about some fears later on. Another thing, and I'm not going to put out names of certain developers here, but a bunch of newer staff from the past year, 2 years or so, have been former Games Workshop writers that worked in 40K, right? You can do your research if you want, but yeah, there's a bunch of former writers just casually going into CA, which just makes me think, yeah, this has been a thing for a while, and that's why I've been speculating for a while. I've been hearing those rumors. Like, I mean, Valk has been posting rumors about a Total War 40K for like a small amount of while, but I'm telling you, I've been hearing rumors that they've been looking towards doing 40K for an absolute age now. Financially, it makes a lot of sense to be able to do 40K as a Total War. It's something that a lot of people would see, and yes, again, a lot of people are going to say it's squad-based combat and so on. Just look at the Apocalypse rules, there you go. Epic, right? It's just how it is. Full armies rather than squads. Going back to the money situation, let's be very, very honest here. Creative Assembly are likely going to be bleeding a lot of cash with Hyenas. I know I said I wasn't going to mention this, but let's be honest, it's going to be a cash sink. They're going to want something to recuperate those funds. They can't do a Total War Warhammer 4, although I have been hearing some very odd rumors, but we'll talk about that another day. But they can make that stupid amount of cash even more so by jumping into a brand new setting, a obviously more popular setting that is going to be able to be milked as horrendously much as possible. You know, 25 euro DLC. Now imagine that for a new color of Space Marines each time. While you, the Total War fan, might not pay it, the average 40K fan might. I know that sounds very mean to say, but like, we all know that 40K fan who just buys a new army every single edition. I know you can even say that about me with Warhammer Fantasy, but I play every single army. They play it because it's the flavor of the month. I am 100% certain that a Total War 40K is going to happen, and it's going to happen around 2027, as that year is the 40th anniversary of Warhammer 40K. That's likely going to be something that they're going to do something very big there, with loads and loads of promotions, loads of game announcements, maybe game releases. Not only that, yeah, you know, new edition. What better way to promote the title by also having a AAA game? Space Marine 2 is going to make a shit ton of money, don't get me wrong, but a Total War 40K would make lots more. This is because Space Marine is a little bit smaller in terms of scope and scale. Obviously, it's still a very large game, and I'm super excited to play it eventually. But, you know, you're playing a Space Marine, you're fighting against Tyranids, and obviously some Chaos stuff, but think about it this way, right? Race packs, Lord packs, character packs, whatever. They've got loads and loads of things to be able to do here to milk more cash. And I have heard some very faint rumors that a Total War Warhammer 40K would actually be another trilogy. You know, start off in the region of Ultramar and then expand from there through different planets. Yes, there's a lot of things that people would be complaining about right now in the comments regarding how this would work with terms of travel and so on. But don't you worry, I am compiling all the rumors that I've been hearing and doing my notes to see how exactly this could actually work. The fact of the matter is, we know that this would sell. We know that this would sell a lot, and it would get a lot more players than a standard Warhammer Fantasy game, or even, well, a new historical game. It's going to dominate, and if you guys are, like the historical guys, if you guys are, tired of Warhammer fans? Just wait till the 40k fan base jumps in, believe me. Now, this last part of the video is pretty much directed to Creative Assembly more than anyone else. If you're going to do a Total War Warhammer 40k, I'm telling you right now, you need to do this right. You need to make sure that you don't do the same mistakes that you've been doing with Fantasy and other Total War titles, because the 40k fan base is not really that forgiving. If the game does badly, the game basically dies. It doesn't matter how many fixes come into effect. This is why so many Warhammer games, Warhammer 40k mostly, end up getting abandoned within 11 months after launch. Everything that's happened with Shadows of Change is not going to fly with them, as they will see it as a dead game instantly, right? It's why a lot of these titles fail. Well, in all honesty, they need to fix up their stuff with Warhammer Fantasy. But yeah, this is how it goes. And as a last note, because why not, you know, Creative Assembly have gone on record saying that there is 3 to 4 years planned for Warhammer Fantasy. Yeah. What's after that? 2027, which kind of falls with a date that I pretty much had in mind. And I know a few others have now been starting to echo that sentiment. I'm telling you, this is what's going to happen. Warhammer Fantasy will get end-timed, and they will move on to a Total War 40k. If they leave Warhammer Fantasy in a bad state, make sure that you're vocal about it, because if they just present a fancy new toy, yeah, then we're just going to be stuck with the same old problems every time. We've suffered here, not as badly as Free Kingdoms did, admittedly, but we need to keep vocal. As a fan base, we need to stay united and make sure that no other game gets kicked in the freaking balls anymore. This also means, because I know a lot of you aren't interested in Pharaoh, if they do the same stuff to Pharaoh as they've done to Free Kingdoms or to Warhammer, yes, be vocal about it, because it's important. We need to stay united here so these mistakes do not happen again. I'm telling you, I'm looking at 40k and I'm looking at it with a little bit of fear. I really don't know if this should be happening or not, because I've lost a little bit of faith in Creative Assembly. Well, a lot of faith lately. I am a big 40k fan, not as much as Fantasy, but I'd love to see it done in a epic scale game, right? Absolutely massive, but not with the recent way that, well, the games have been handled. Let's just be very honest there. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let's start a bit of discussion. I just want to put my thoughts there and give you the rumors that I've been hearing, because look, I've been right a lot of the times. Yes, there's been some things that I've been wrong about, but I've been hearing this from very valid sources. Very valid sources. So yeah, have a good day, guys, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. I'm off to paint off some orcs. I've finally got my 30mm bases, for those of you who are asking. I finally ordered something from Etsy, and I've been able to start painting up my orcs in the new base sizes.